Now, what about Princess Beatrice and Eugenie? They've, of course, fled the UK and are reportedly barely holding it together, Josh.
£30 million. That is said to be the amount Princess Beatrice of York and her sister, Princess Eugenie, have seen vanish from what they once expected to inherit, and their father carries full responsibility. The United States Department of Justice released a new set of images from the Jeffrey Epstein files on December 20, 2025. Hidden within that drop was a single photograph that sent shockwaves through Britain's elite circles. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, the former Duke of York, was shown stretched out across the laps of 5 women inside Sandringham House, one of the monarchy's most protected and private estates. Royal commentators reacted fast, delivering a stark public warning to Princess Beatrice that standing by her father could undo everything she has spent years rebuilding. Countless hours of careful, intentional effort went into restoring Princess Beatrice's image, which is why this moment is so damaging. At 37, she is a mother of 2 with her husband, Edoardo Mapelli-Masi, and her public standing today bears little resemblance to how she was portrayed in her 20s. At that time, critics ridiculed her style and dismissed her as a socialite, but she chose depth over drama. Supporting dyslexia awareness became her mission. Work in artificial intelligence and tech advisory roles became her profession, and real respect followed on her own terms. One man and one picture now risk erasing it all.
Yes, that's right. Both of them have fled the UK. Princess Beatrice, I think she's been spotted with a business economic initiative in Saudi Arabia.
Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor's fall from royal life, for those who need a reminder, has unfolded over many years and worsened with each chapter. His disastrous 2019 BBC Newsnight interview with Emily Maitlis set the collapse in motion, and his efforts during that broadcast to separate himself from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein were widely condemned. A civil settlement with Virginia Giuffre followed in 2022, under conditions that were never fully revealed to the public. Then, on October 17, 2025, Andrew reportedly surrendered his remaining royal titles. Many believed his humiliation had reached its lowest point. The release of these photographs showed that belief was wrong. Richard Kay, writing for the Daily Mail, called the image a grotesque final note to Andrew's royal past. What gave that description such weight was the location itself. Sandringham House is where the royal family spends Christmas, where Queen Elizabeth II is said to have found peace in her final years, and where monarchs have long withdrawn from public view. The idea that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were allowed into such a place, and that Andrew facilitated that access, strikes directly at the credibility of the institution.
So, and actually, Princess Beatrice has been smiling for the pictures. Of course, both Beatrice and Eugenie will both actually carry on. They will still hold both their princess titles and their York titles.
Once those images became public, Princess Beatrice's position was said to turn untenable. Helena Chard, a royal analyst, told Fox News Digital that both Princess Beatrice and Eugenie would need to create some distance from their parents to safeguard their own standing. Jennie Bond, a former BBC royal correspondent, went even further, cautioning that although the sisters had largely avoided damage so far, it would be sensible for them to step back from commercial ventures and from what she described as the money-soaked venues of the Middle East. Bond's guidance, when reduced to its essence, came down to one clear message: do not allow your parents' reputation to become yours.
As well, so actually they're very different from Prince Andrew and of course his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson, who is understood now. I originally predicted that she would stay with Prince Andrew. Now she's reportedly been telling sources close to her and friends that actually she's making alternative arrangements.
Princess Beatrice appeared to ignore that advice entirely. Just 4 days after her father surrendered his titles, she was reportedly photographed visiting him at Royal Lodge in Windsor. That was when another, more revealing image surfaced. On January 24, 2026, Beatrice was reportedly seen horseback riding with her father and her 4-year-old daughter, Sienna Mapelli-Masi, through Home Park on the Windsor Castle estate. Sources claim the ride lasted more than 45 minutes. Those close to the family said it was Beatrice allowing her father valuable time with his granddaughter ahead of his reported removal to a distant property on the Sandringham estate. A February deadline now hangs over everything. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is said to be facing eviction from Royal Lodge, Windsor, the 30-room mansion the family occupied for years, and the 75-year lease he reportedly secured in 2003 for £1 million, with an annual rent of a single peppercorn if requested, is said to be cancelled. As a result, the property returns to the Crown estate.
When Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson were living in that 30-room, that expansive Royal Lodge residence on the Grand Windsor estate, you know, they had separate areas. There was enough space to keep their distance.
The sisters are said to have stopped presenting a united front, and that split made everything far more complicated. Sources allege Princess Eugenie, now 35, has completely cut ties with her father, a move that reportedly sparked intense arguments between them. Beatrice is said to see her sister's choice as cold and lacking compassion, while royal commentator Afua Hagen framed it as self-protection, designed to shield Eugenie's own family from guilt by association. Christmas 2025 revealed just how wide the divide had become. Both Beatrice and Eugenie attended the traditional Christmas Day walk at Sandringham House, yet their parents were noticeably absent, with Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and Sarah Ferguson reportedly skipping the event and breaking a long-standing custom. Sources say Royal Lodge, Windsor appeared unusually undecorated that year. One account even likened Andrew to the Grinch, suggesting festive spirit was in short supply. Several reports described Princess Beatrice as being under heavy emotional pressure behind the scenes. Sources claim she told friends she chose to go skiing during the holidays instead of attending certain royal events, because the strain of choosing between her father and the institution she was born into had become overwhelming.
But Princess Beatrice and Eugenie, you know, it must be so tough for them, because notwithstanding the fact that Prince Andrew still denies all allegations of wrongdoing, Princess Beatrice and Eugenie are completely innocent. They've had absolutely nothing to do with it. They have no responsibility.
Tensions beyond her parents only added to that pressure. Entertainment journalist Rob Shooter claimed Prince William is reportedly against Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie taking on more visible royal duties, although royal author Robert Jobson challenged that view, arguing the future king does not believe the sisters should suffer for their father's alleged wrongdoing. This is where the situation grows more complex, because King Charles III's handling of events drew criticism from commentators who questioned why he placed the sisters so prominently during the Christmas Day walk at the very moment their father's disgrace was dominating headlines once again. This led some observers to suggest the princesses have effectively become pawns in a much larger institutional game. Among the most striking claims in recent reports is an alleged private agreement between King Charles III and Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. Under this reported deal, Andrew agreed to leave Royal Lodge, Windsor only after securing assurances that his daughters would be fully welcomed back into royal life. The arrangement allegedly states that, while his former wife Sarah Ferguson would lose her title, no consequences would extend to their daughters.
Over their parents, they're just trying to get on with their lives, their own careers, while still maintaining some sort of connection with the royal family to appear on certain public events when required. This must be deeply embarrassing for them.
If that agreement is real, it places Princess Beatrice in an impossible position, making her both her father's final link to royal legitimacy and the family member most vulnerable to the fallout from his past. Vanity Fair royal correspondent Katie Nischal reportedly summed up the weight of this situation when she said the daughters are simply trying to move forward with their lives and careers while holding on to some remaining connection to the royal family. She described them as the most unfortunate victims, enduring their circumstances with quiet dignity. February's deadline draws nearer with each passing day. As Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor approaches his final weeks at Royal Lodge, the pressure on Princess Beatrice continues to grow. Those close to her say she has chosen love over logic and loyalty over self-protection. Yet every new disclosure from the Epstein files further weakens the ground beneath that decision. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Princess Beatrice can continue walking this incredibly thin line between supporting her father and protecting her own future? Or have the Windsor photographs already made that balance impossible? Share your opinion in the comments. And if you want to stay ahead of every update in this story, subscribe to FameX now so nothing slips past you.